Hey guys, welcome back to yet another video, and today I wanted to talk about my spinning reel versus my baitcaster. Now, I've used a spinning reel my entire life. I've always had spinning reels. I've done a lot of saltwater fishing, and I've gotten more into freshwater fishing. I'm really enjoying it. I really enjoy catching bass. I completely understand why people get obsessed with it. So I got a baitcaster. I really wanted to become better of a baitcaster. People tell me they had more control, things of that nature. I thought I need to go ahead and get one and get some practice with it. So I did. Whenever Gander Mount went out of business, they had a large sale, and I picked up a loose speed spool, which you will see right here. I have to say, I've fallen in love with the thing after fishing about 3 or 4 trips and getting a really good hang of how this actually works, because it does take some practice versus a spinning reel, and it's been an awesome reel to have. Now, my spinning reel, this is a tight line reel. It's a $50 reel, but it's worked well. I use this mainly for speckled trout, salt water, and I've had really no problems with it. It's got a little bit of a nasty sound right now. I put some oil in it, but this is a much older reel. I've caught a lot of fish on it, so it may be getting to the end of its life. But I want to talk about the positives and negatives a little bit about both of these, and why I went from a spinning reel type of guy to loving a baitcaster and using that every time I go bass fishing or anything of that nature. When I first got the baitcaster, it took a whole lot of practice, and I must say the practice paid off. For the first week, I came out 30 to 45 minutes a day, and I just pitched it into the grass. I tied a frog on here so it wouldn't get stuck, and I just kept pitching it and casting it, and I aimed at a certain point and saw how close I could get to it without getting a few bird's nests. Now, I had plenty of bird's nests when I practiced. In the first 2 or 3 fishing trips, I continued to have quite a few bird's nests. Every 20th or so cast I would get a bird's nest. But now that I've had a lot more practice, I feel so much more confident using a baitcaster. And the thing that really helped me out is my cast control cap. It fell off. So I had no way to control the casting spool or how fast it spun, except this magnetic one. And I tried it a little bit, but I don't like the magnetic one as much as the control cap. This is just to fine-tune it personally. But without this control cap, I really had to watch what I was doing. I had to watch my finger sensitivity and things of that nature much more closely. And that made me a better fisherman with the baitcaster. It really helped me out. It made me control it better, have better casts, much closer to my target. And that was something that I really am happy that this actually fell off and I had to go get a new one, because it gave me a lot of practice with just using my thumb for drag. So once you get a lot of practice, the baitcaster will become so much easier to use than a spinning reel. It's a lot funner to cast. Personally, to me, you can get a whole lot of casting because you don't have to worry about a bell. You just have to click it and you're good to go. So that's all that's there. And on top of that, it just feels better in the hands once you get a hand for it and a feel for it. You can really grip it any way you like, and just fighting a bass on one of these things feels awesome, I have to say. So there's a lot of big positives to this, and I'll show you what I mean when I'm talking about how close you can get to a target in a minute or two here. But those are the biggest positives to me with having a baitcaster. Now for the spinning reel, I go to my spinning reel for saltwater fishing. It doesn't require nearly as much accuracy as, say, bass fishing, as long as you can throw a bait out there and know what type of action you need for it. That's really the positives to it. The other thing I really like about spinning reels is that they're a little bit more durable, in my opinion. They last longer. I would not use this baitcaster in salt water. I would be afraid of it corroding and things of that nature. I've heard some horror stories of baitcasters versus spinning reels. And spinning reel is just a great rudimentary concept that works. It's just a great reel. It's easy for beginners to understand, and it gets the job done. Now, there are a few positives and negatives of both. But one thing that's better about the baitcaster than this is that when the line spools off, it simply comes off the spool. The spool does not move. Since this one has a free-moving spool, the spool goes with the line, so you're able to cast farther, it feels a lot smoother, things of that nature. So those are some big positives. Now that I've explained the positives and negatives of each one, I'm going to show you how much more control you have with a baitcaster versus a spinning reel. And that's what has really made me fall in love with the baitcaster. It's just the amount of control you have over your bait, and to put it exactly where you want. So now we're going to look at the accuracy of a spinning reel versus a baitcaster, as well as how long it takes between casts to actually set each up. Now, To start, we're going to use a frog. It's just going to be the easiest one to use when we get caught in this grass. It has plenty of weight to throw. And we're going to act like the grass is the water and the sidewalk is the land. We want to get it right on the edge of the grass, right where you would have cypress trees, any type of stumps, things of that nature would best be hiding. And you don't want to get it on land because then you're probably going to get stuck on vines and everything, like I would at my camp. So without further ado, we're going to have this first cast. Pretty horrible cast. That was about 3.5 feet away from the sidewalk. I can do better than that. That was a good foot on the sidewalk. Okay, that was about 4 inches from the sidewalk. That was a little bit better. And I had to reach over and start slowing down the line with my hands in order to really get it going. I can't use this hand because it doesn't reach far enough down the net in order to really stop this line. Again, about 2 feet. These are not very good casts by me either. Last one. Right on the edge, but it first bounces on the sidewalk and bounces back. So there you have the spinning reel. Another thing about the spinning reel is this long turning radius you have between the casts. It can get to be wearing out on you quite quickly. Baitcaster. Now this baitcaster is going to give me a lot more control, as you'll see in a second, and I'm very much an amateur with this thing. I've only used it for a few months. As you can see, got a Gary Yamamoto worm with just a size 3 hook, weedless, and a weight. Just give me a little something to throw, as well as it was the thing I was using last time I was pond fishing. Right on the edge of the sidewalk first time. And you'll see the shorter radius I have to reel in, and that really does help. You can do a lot more casts that way. It's a lot more comfortable. Right on the edge of the sidewalk again. The second cast. And as well, you can see how fast it is between casts, because all you have to do is release your spool and you're ready to go. That was a good 3 inches onto the sidewalk. I should have been paying better attention to where the one was going. Cast a little bit lower. Right on the edge of the sidewalk again. Hopefully I'll do it on this last cast as well. Right on the edge. The same spot I exactly was at the last 2 or 3 casts, exactly where I wanted to go. And I'm an amateur with this thing. I have not used it long, and I've already learned to control this fairly well and get very, very accurate casts out of it. Well guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, please share, like, subscribe. I just wanted to show you why I went from loving spinning reels to being a big fan of the baitcaster. It took a lot of practice and quite a few bird's nests, but once you get the hang of it, you do genuinely understand why people love the baitcaster so much and why you would use it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below or add me on social media, which will be in the description. Thanks for watching.